So hi everyone, welcome back to ITOM batch 2, day 32. Good morning. How are you doing, Harish, today?
I'm good, Ajay. Thanks.
Thank you. So, yesterday, as you remember, we discussed about the 5 phases of that CSDM implementation: foundation, crawl, walk, run, and fly.
Yes.
Any questions in that one?
No, Ajay, not right
Okay, sure. Thank you. I think let's get started with that, example today.
now. Sure, sure.
Let me know once my screen is visible to you.
I'm able to see, Ajay.
Thank you. So I have couple of examples where how the CSDM can, implement, right? So let's start with that normal or the basic examples which we are going to use or that will helpful for everyone's life, right? So ITSM, that is ServiceNow ITSM example I'm just referring here. And if you are able to see on my screen, let me zoom it little bit more. Right. Yeah, here what we are trying to do that as already we discussed, right, when we are going to be implement in the first phase, we are, understanding about the foundation data. And I'm assuming like on my PDI, the foundation data which I have with the demo that is already available, which related to groups, which related to user, department, location, and other things, right? So that I'm assuming that is there. The second things comes in the picture about like as we discussed in the last phase, designing or defining the business applications and all other things, right? So now as per the when we are discussing with the customer, we have defined that one, like my business applications, we have defined. Let me go up just to here. Right. So then in the crawl phase, we define the business applications, we define the application services and discoverable pieces and parts using the ServiceNow discovery, right? Then definitely when we are, define that business applications as per this. So here my business applications I have defined for the incident management is ServiceNow incident management, ServiceNow change management, and ServiceNow mid-server. These are the three basic examples or basic applications I have defined with the customer. And top of it, I have defined the application services, which is related to like there is one applications which is related to my mid-server is ServiceNow mid-server prod, Madrid. And the same way I have defined for business application services for incident management and change management, that is ServiceNow QA Madrid or ServiceNow Dev Madrid. I just attached these particular things there, right? Then we have to define in the walk phase dynamic CI grouping, technical service offering, and service portfolio. So here we define that service offerings and technical service which is attached to which is connect with my server, which is service offering is Linux and which is technical service is hosting. So on hosting technical service, we have a technical service offering, right? Also, we defined in the next phase business service offerings and business service. So in this particular use case, business service, we have incident management. Under that we have two offerings, that is incidents and uh, incident standard or incident MIM, and which is again depend on my application service of the mid server one, right? Then in next we are going to define the business capabilities or information object and the catalog item. So as I mentioned, information object is depend if we want to be defined or not. It's an optional, but it depends for that HIPAA or PII process basically, right? Apart from that, here we have defined the business capabilities as a managed incident, managed changes, or the directory services basically. One moment. Okay, so I have that we have defined. Now, once we have each and everything defined, my architecture or diagram will be looks like that, basically. So here, if you see, there are two things. One is portfolio. My portfolio is IT service management, which is connecting to the service incident management. That is my business service. And under that business service, we have two offerings, incident standard or incident MIM, right? The same way in the left side, I have defined business capabilities. Under business capabilities 1.0, we have three more business capabilities, which is related to manage incidents, manage change, and manage our directory services. Under that, we have business applications. So I think let's try to define those particular thing and let's go further, right? So let's go with the portfolio. Portfolio, we have IT service management, right? Now, if you see, it's also automatic auto create service offerings is also there. We can check it, right? If we want to put the short description like this, portfolio will have to manage the ITSM. If we want to put any description, market scopes, who is the service portfolio owner? So let's put service portfolio owner is referring the user table and there is nothing. Okay. Oh, so like again, now this is the issue. Like we have user table sys underscore user, but I can see there is no user, but that is not the case. Basically, this is something that issue with rules. Right, right. Let me one moment.
You're in a different scope.
Right, that's why I got it because yesterday I'm doing something else, so that is the reason. Let me save this. Users we have it, so I think that should be that should be some issue here basically, right? So delete. Okay, I think let me create one more in this particular scope. Might be this is in different scope. Due to that, it's not. No, there is some issue with that, right? So now this is one thing which I just want to mention here. Basically, like I have foundation data, but that is not exposed to that particular table somehow due to some reasons, right? So that's not allowing me to select that particular one. But let's leave it. But that should be there. That not be an issue. Basically, that is something I did something wrong in my PDI basically, right? And it also, creating service offerings, how many service offerings we want to be create. Let's take it, I just creating two for now. Let's create this one, right? So if I go to my IT service management one, I just created two service offerings. That service offerings I will showcase you where it will be created, but that is the first step which we have done, right? Then under that we have service, business service, incident management. Let's go to that business service table. Let's create two business service. One is one service is incident management basically. I'm just again going to be created incident management service. Again, when we are creating services, that will also try to understand that service belongs to which type of product model or model, right? So if I will put just simple unknown on by, who is on by, now you can see the sys user table is reflecting. So on by, I'm just putting my name, what type of it is, business criticality of it, right? So that particular couple of fields which is required, what is used for production, staging and all, then it's operational, non-operational service classification. As we are creating business service, we can do that. Otherwise, from this table itself, CMDB service table, we can create other business services, technical or application services as well. I'm just putting that one. These again, that foundation data related things. So I'm just putting, let me search ITSM, something is there. Yeah. Let me put ITSM engineering is approval group. The support group is ITSM. Again, I'm just putting something. ITSM app dev, right? And change group manage SLA, we can put, or we can populate their locations. We can also put, let me put the location. So it's for Americas, right? I've just created that one. Let me submit this. Now it doesn't mean that portfolio to be a business service relationship is already created. No, that we have to be create, right? So where we have to go? We have to go to CMDB underscore rel underscore ci dot list. Now let's create this one. My parent will be IT. Mhm. That what I've created, IT service management, right? Yeah. The IT service is there, but why it's not okay? It's a service which I just created. No, 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 no. In the child, let me see. That what I've created, that is service management, incident management, basically the services. That is there, but its portfolio one is not coming. IT. No, 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 no. Let me check. I think we did something wrong in the portfolio. Service portfolio, taxonomy, CSDM, all yearly commitment portfolio, business service portfolio. I think that we have created in the correct table. SPM service portfolio, right? Is this not part of that relationships? That's strange. IT service management one. No, it should be there. Well, I think that is referring to SPM service portfolio. There is a different table for portfolio is. Let me check one moment. Now you can understand or feel that, like, while we are actually going to be implement, that type of issues will occur, right? Basically, we have everything. It's business service portfolio. Okay, this is not a CMDB table, basically, right? So that's why it's not exposing there. Okay, so then leave it, right? So relationships, we can leave it. We'll tell you how that can be built, right? Basically, for now, then we have under business service, we have two offerings: incident standard or incident MIM. So let's create that offering, business service offering. Yes. So under that, I'm just creating two offering, MIM standard or MIM, sorry, incident standard or incident MIM. Incident STD. What is the parent of it? If I just want to put any parent service, so my parent service is on it is incident management. I can select that again. We are using that particular offering for the production and or not. What are the short description, approval group if I just want to put it, but approval group we already put it there. So let's submit this one. Then we have incident standard is done. Now let's create one more business service offering is incident MIM. What is the parent of it? Parent is incident management. I'm just creating this one. Right now we have two service offerings created. If I open this one, and under that services, we have contracts as well. If you just want to showcase the contract as well, or the item ordered by subscribers or the subscribe by that, if we want to add, we can also add that one, right? So this is going to be referred that says M2M template basically. So we can add the users as well, right? Basically, that's not that much required here. I just want to showcase you something here, dependency map as well. Mm-hmm. Wait. Okay. So that particular service offerings contained with the business services as a contains, right? So that let's create CMDB LCA relationship. So my business service is incident management. Type is contains basically contained by business services incident MIM. Let me submit this. That one is done. Incident management contains by incident standard, right? Let me save this. So that relationship is done. And what I just want to showcase you here, once my relationship is done, now you can see. So we have service incident management under, we have two offerings, offering incident management and incident standard, right? So that is done the first step. The second thing under that we have an application service which we call ServiceNow prod metric and which is depend on relationship with that offerings, right? So let's go to that application service. Here, let's create this one. The application services name is ServiceNow prod metric. Environment, this is for production. Oh, it's operational. Again, whatever we want to put, like do we need to be put any versions, model ID, support group, change group? These are again foundation data, short description and all. Business service offerings, we have these two here. Now you can see in this particular portion only business service offerings is visible, which we can add it. If we want to add any parent, we can also add that one, right? Technical service offerings, business applications, if we want to add it, right? If we have created that particular business services, which is here, that will also visible in this particular portion, right? So let's create that as well for the time being. Business application. Let's create new. The business applications we have incident management, SN change management, SN mid server. So SN incident management. right? Description, I'm just putting normal this only. This is for my production. Let me save. Oh, IT owner is mandatory. Now you can see this is mandatory where which we have to be populate. So I'm just putting IT owner as Ajay Kumar. Let me submit this. Let me create new one more as an change management. Honor is mandatory again. Let me put this one. Ajay Kumar, this. Let me submit. Let me create one more. SN server department. Oh, assignment server. IT owner of this application is again Ajay. So we have created three. I have just created three. Let me save this. Okay, I think let me put to next. Right. Populate these method to populate the application service. We'll go back and select that app business applications again, but till the time we have populate the application service. Now we have the choose method, like how we want to populate the application service. We are going to use the top-down discovery. We are going to use the manual. This is again how my service will be populated, or are we going to use the dynamic service, dynamic CI service groups, or tags, dynamic CI groups, top to down discovery, right? So it depends on if we are using top to down discovery to popular service mapping, that means we are using automated service maps, right? Dynamic CI groups already is, CI groups where which we can create and which can be part of it, right? Tags, it's for cloud-based discovery or where the tax is available. Based on that, we want to populate the service maps, right? Manual is just something where we just want to put an entry point manually and create the connections manually. And this is again a dynamic app services, which is based on the relationships changes basically, right? So these are the things I just put top to down for the now. What is the application type? I just put HTTPS. Again, it's not mandatory for now. Okay, it's mandatory HTTPS dev 182.991 dot service hyphen now dot com. Let me put this. Let me save. My service has been done. We can preview the service which is hosted in these particular things, and let me done this. So already the incident, if you see, already that relationships, which is that if you're able to see that, that is already creating. Right now, let me create these things as well, just to add here and up next update next. Now you can see. So we have relationships already created using that particular module where incident offerings is depend on used by, or these particular things will be created as a consume or consumed by. So the same thing is happening here. If you see depend on used by, or this is for basically consume and consumed by. But if you see only one service or one business application is connecting to that particular business application service, which is ServiceNow prod. ServiceNow omits our prod matter it basically, but I've just connected three, so not any big deal, right? So that is already done. Now let's go back and create the first things is business capability, and business capability is 1.0 to 1.0 and 2.0, right? To map this one. So business capability. Okay, let's create business capability, and that business capability, let me close the other things. So business capability is IT support services. I'm just creating IT support services. Again, if we have any parent or any business unit, we want to use it. So business unit, I just putting IT for the time being. Department, again, I'm going to be put department is not there. Let me create some department immediately. IT. We submit this one. This is done, right? IT services, support services created. Now let's create new. which is three business capabilities. Under that, we are going to be create, that is manage incidents, manage changes, and directory services, right? So we have manage incidents, parent is IT support, submit, manage change, parent is IT support services, and third is directory services. Then is IT support services. Now that is done. Under now, actually, that is there is no manual relationship switches, right? So we have already put it this one, but from business capability to business applications, we have to be create a relationships provide by, right? So let me go to the CMDB LCI table again. Right, let me go here. What will be my parent here? My business capability. So what is my business capability? Business capability is here, manage incidents, which is under as an incident management. Manage incidents. And relationships we are using here contains again, and child is as an incident management. Right, that first relationship is done. Next relationship is again manage change. Then we have contains as and change management. Right. Next is directory service. Child is contained by, and this is assign mid server. Right. So till now we are able to follow that we have just created portfolio, service, business service, and under that business service offerings, and then application service. The same way we have here created a business capability 2.0. Under that we have contains business applications, and that going to be consumed by this particular one, right? Any questions in that one? But you know that data model, or you can say this particular the architecture diagram is required to build before we are doing that type of mapping in ServiceNow, because that will gives a complete idea how we have to do, what relationships type we are going to be used. You know, every time we cannot go to that particular document to check that particular relationships types, what type of relationship is there and how that is going to be used, it right? So that first of all that required. Any questions in that till now, Harish?
Nothing.
Okay, then we done this one, we used this one. Now if I go to, let me go here and let me showcase you business application. Right, let's open this one. Now you can see my business capability, manage incidents. Under that we have SN, a business application is SN incident management, and under that we have, you know, application service, which is ServiceNow prod mid server, right? If I just want to increase that level and see if something is more, no, right? So it will give me a complete understanding about my this hierarchy which we have just manually created, right? So we have business capability, then we have business application, then we have application service. Also we have not created a relationships between business capability 1.0 IT support services and business capability, this one, like let's create this one as well, right? So IT support, that is provided, I think which one is it? Provided by this, and the child is manage incidents, manage change. manage incidents, submit. Let's go back. IT support provides by manage change, submit. Then IT support provides by, and the child is directory service. Submit. Now it will update that particular. Right. So now we have business capability IT support service, which is connecting with manage incidents, and manage incidents connecting with a business application this, and then we have this. Under this particular, because this, you can see that diagram or the pictorial view of in different way. Under see that we have infrastructure, which is we are mentioning here that, actually my servers or actually my application under of it, right, which is running on that, right? And under that we can create that service or server of on that particular server we can create offering, which is Linux. And let's create the technical service first of all, technology service hosting, right? So let's create this one. Right, let's create this one. Technical services hosting. Again, it's up to us what we want to populate. Let's save this. Oh, I just moved out to offering. Okay, let's create offering is, what is Linux? Why I'm going to create in this one? Okay, Linux. What will be the parent of it? Hosting. All right, so let me submit this. I just not use any infrastructure for now because might be that infrastructure is not correct or not updated here, but that will be updated based on my service maps, right? So if I modify that my application services basically here, based on that, that will be populated and that will be updated here. So that first, as I mentioned, that first in that particular way, we have to create this pictorial, that blueprint, or we can say that architecture manually, first of all, somewhere to understand how the data looks like, and then we have to be proceed further to update the things in service now. And let me give you one more example here, the typical one, which is this. Let me zoom it little bit. I hope you are able to read that, right? So here we are using SAP Financial basically, right? ITSM is just simple one where we just created, a different stacks of the ITSM and just created relationships. Now just understand, if we customer have a big organization and customer have different. So this is just for one. Don't think that can be completed or that can be used by complete, CSDM implementation. This is for one application or one business capability only, right? So here, if you see the one business capability which I have it, that is managing financial. Under that, we have business application, financial supply chain, financial accounting, or investment management. These are the three applications we have. And that same business capability is also referencing that services, business services, which is financial accounting, right? And that particular business service comes under the portfolio financial management, right? Then under business applications, we have three more business applications, which is connecting to financial accounting, not to other, right? Under that financial accounting, we have business application, general ledger, payables, receivables, asset accounting, right? These are the three or four business applications under financial accounting. And only one business application, general ledger, is consuming application service, which is SAP Finance Prod. And under that, we have database application servers, database instance, and servers, right? And also, this is also going to be consume one application service, SAP Finance QA and SAP Finance Dev. So there are three applications depend on the environment which we have there. It's going to be consumed by business application, as well as the database instances we have offering related to DB management, the servers we have offering related to technical service or basically Linux offering, right? Here in the right side, business services, financial accounting, we have three offerings: general ledger, paybooks, receivables, and which is again depend on my application service only, right? So there are two ways to do that basically, and two views to showcase to the management is that is one side this, where a business owners or business services or business service owners basically have visibility through that if they are going to be follow that one. And that is one is again for business application users, right, from this particular view. So once we have the complete relationships available, as I already showcased you here, I think it's not updated one. Yeah, just let me refresh. Right. So that particular will be there, right? So if any impact will be there on this particular infrastructure, because end of the day impact is going to be happen on the infrastructure only, right? If any impact is on applications or my this service now non-prod infrastructure or any component which is underlying that, right, it will showcase you this particular business capability or business application is going to be impact directly. I hope you are getting it right. I think
Yeah.
I will put these particular examples on the chat as well, so you guys can also create, or you guys also can try to do some things on it. Arati, you joined it, right? Thank you. Thanks for joining. So you can also, go through that particular, links basically, where which can you help out to understand more on that side, and you can try to create something from your side as well to do that, right? So there are a couple of link which I used basically. And I love that particular articles which is provided by data content manager, basically DCM. So I thought let's use it. Otherwise, I have to manually create that particular pictorial diagram or architectures just to showcase you. But I find out easily, so I did not create anything manually. Any questions in that, guys? Arati, do you have anything?
No, Ajay. I'm good.
Okay. And just last thing before closing the sessions today, I think you missed yesterday, but the main thing when we are working on CSDM implementations, we have to follow the slowly and gradually implementation of the CSDM, right? So we always need to see, need to understand that one, we have 5 phases of implementation of CSDM, right? Then one is foundation, then is crawl, then is walk, then run, and the fly. And each phase have different steps which we have to be follow. Like it is not that wrong answer if I put this particular journey with a birth of the kid, right? So if when kid birth is happening, that he's starting the crawling, then after a couple of years he's starting the walking, and once he's young he's going to be start the run, and once he's reached out to that particular level young, complete her studies or his studies, and then he can fly, he can go to the market and grab it, right? So that I think I feel personally that particular stages is finalized from there only. So in the foundation, as I already yesterday mentioned, we have to focus on the reporting, what we all want to do reporting, and how that it looks like to us, and the core data, foundation core data, which already we have discussed couple of times, related to users table, group table, contract table, CMDB groups tables, or locations, departments, company. That will be that core data. If it is not correct, we cannot do that, because every time when we are going to be create any business application service, that will be required to understand or to provide the support groups, approval groups, change group on by technical owner, IT owner, whatever, right? So that must be required. If it is not up to date, then we have to little bit more focus to understand about the customer, foundation data, about their locations, about their environments and other things, right? And the same way, crawl, we have to be focused on the business application as SDLC component. Again, that is optional if we want to use the DevOps lifecycle or not. Then application services and discoverable part. So here, if your discovery is not completed, that must be required. Your discovery should be completed before that, to understand or to make that relationships between to the next step, right? So discoverable CIs and other attribute required for the discovery on the CMDB CI, that should be up to date, right? So we are going to define that business application and other component here. In the walk, we are going to define the dynamic CI grouping, technical service offerings, technical services, and service portfolio that required. Then we have run. Under run, we are going to be, define the business services and business service offerings. And the fly, we have the fast, and last thing is business capability. And if in each we have each diagram in this particular document, we have, this is the foundation layer which you are going to be defined on the first step. In the second step, these three things. It doesn't mean like only one scope or one domain we have to be focused on the second. No, in this particular one crawl phase, we are going to be use design domain, SDLC, sorry, build domain, and the technical managed technical service domain, but only defining the three components here: business applications, SDLC component, and application services. And then we are in next, we are going to be focused on the managed technical service only in the walk phase, where we are going to be define these particular things, and then so and so. Right. So we have to be little bit careful while we are implementing this particular one. And again, my request is just to, we have to be design this type of architecture. And I think this type of flow or architecture we are always creating when we are going to be in any implementation, right? Just to showcase to the customer. Now, any questions in that?
And actually, you have shared this document, right, that you are presenting.
Ah, yes, I already shared it.
Okay. Yeah, I'll
You
go
have
back.
not. That's the reason. I think, yeah, I already shared on the chat. If you see, right, so I already did that particular one, right? So if I go to here, why I'm not able to go to the chat of it? I just do that, right? It's already shared, basically. Not this document, apart from specific to ITOM, right? When we are going to be main focus on ITOM, I also shared that particular document. But CSDM is not specific for one module, that can be implement across the platform for across the applications and other things as well. So we have to be little bit to understand the customer requirement on the broader level, and then we have to be convert to inflow, and then we have to be start the implementation to implement it in service now. And we have to be little bit more careful for the relationships, because the relationships is only the way to showcase the complete hierarchy of that particular implementation to the customer. Any questions, any doubt, anything related to that? I think that CSDM is covered now. From the next week, I'm going to be focused on the event management and then service mapping.
Ajay, actually, while we're going through event management, is it possible to show us any lab or a practical example?
I will try because I don't have any monitoring system or solution which can trigger the event, but in ServiceNow itself, we can create manual events. We
Okay.
can create or we can trigger and we can run each and everything on it. Like, event rule, we can do that. On top of it, we can write alert management rule or the correlation rules, whatever is possible. I will do that. So
Thanks.
labs will be there. Labs will be there definitely. Any questions, Arati, from your side, or are we good for today?
Yeah, good for today.
Okay, sure. Thank you guys. Have a good day. Have a happy weekend. I think let's connect on the Monday and let's focus on the event management. And you have 2 days till now. So if you want to go through the recordings, if you missed it already, go through it, ask me the questions. I will help you out. Or also, I've just put it 50 questions there. Please go through it. Try to find out the solutions if you are able to find out in this weekend, and let me know. If you're not able to find out, then also let me know. I have the answers as well. So it will boom your CSDM knowledge as well to be understand more.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, that's all. Thank you guys. Have a good day. Bye bye. We'll meet you on Monday.
Thanks, Ajay.